Daredevil Born Again will be a new look into the character of Matt Murdock and the world of Hell's Kitchen. Shooting for the first season of the show will begin on February 6th, 2023, and will feature 18 episodes. Release date is still slated for spring 2024, so what's the progress on this show so far? Recently, Charlie Cox was interviewed on GQ UK and spoke on the upcoming show. We've heard from previous rumors that the show will not feature as much gore and violence as the Netflix run of the character. While not the greatest of news to some fans, Charlie Cox has reassured fans that the show will still be for slightly more mature audiences. But what direction will Daredevil Born Again take? Charlie Cox quotes about the show's changes with GQ UK magazine and quotes the following: "I think because of the number of episodes they've committed to, there'll be a heavy influence of the courtroom stuff. Matt Murdock, the lawyer of the new show. So I'm heavily focused on researching that idea of his character and his life. It was one of the areas we didn't get to do a huge amount of exploration around before. Even my accent is probably really rusty." Charlie Cox will need to brush on his accent, but shouldn't take too long to get into the character. He actually elaborated more on this direction for the show in a different interview with NME magazine. He goes on and quotes the following: "My opinion is that this character works best when he's geared towards a slightly more mature audience. My instinct is that on Disney Plus it will be dark, but it probably won't be gory. Let's take the things that really worked. But what can we broaden? Can we appeal to a slightly younger audience about losing what we've learned about what works? With more courtroom scenes, there's a potential to feature mature themes and storylines. This would also leave room for Cox to explore Matt Murdock's lawyer aspect of his character as well. As a massive fan of the original 3 seasons, I'm open to the change, and even though I'm not really happy about the less violence and less gore, I think it's a good direction to take the characters. We've already seen Daredevil at his most brutal and violent in the previous 3 seasons. I actually enjoyed seeing Murdock explore a different world and a different tone during She-Hulk. A little lighter side of Matt Murdock was nice to see. The fight choreography probably won't live up to the standards of the Netflix show. However, I do expect the show to explore some of the crime and background issues within Hell's Kitchen and probably overall New York City. Daredevil is famous for going beyond the law to help those failed by the same law. Perhaps we'll see some of that energy displayed on the courtroom rather than in the streets. I really love how they wrote Matt's character in the first 3 seasons, but I think giving him a chance to get away from the solitude will be refreshing for the character." Cox sounds very committed to the return during the same interview. He spoke about preparing for the role and returning as the devil of Hell's Kitchen. He goes on and quotes, "No, I'm really excited. I'm right in the thick of preparing for next year and getting back into it. I think it's important that I just don't take it for granted, that I know the character now and just show up and say the lines. I think you've got to reinvestigate and recommit yourself as it was a first-time job again. And that's how you'll continue to find the nuance and deepen the character to make the show as good as it can be." I like the vibe Charlie Cox gives off when narrating his return to the role. Reinvestigating and recommitting to the role were notable quotes that I took from this interview. Charlie Cox has spoken in so many interviews in the past about the show and has big respect for the character. I think his appearances in No Way Home and She-Hulk were great ways to slowly integrate Charlie Cox back into the role. This also allows Marvel Studios to blend the character within their already established world a little bit better. Before I give my final thoughts, I'd like for you to give this video a thumbs up and hit that like button. Drop a sub and help me get that subscribers number going up. Matt Murdock will be exploring a new world of enemies and allies. Some are familiar faces, but I expect most of the show to feel significantly different from the Netflix show. You're working within a town that's featuring Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers Tower, and so many other notable characters. And speaking about upcoming characters in the show, Michael Gandolfini was rumored to have a big role in the show, according to Marvel Studios scooper Daniel Richtman. Gandolfini is the son of the late and great James Gandolfini. Could this role be connected to a Wilson Fisk by chance? I don't know. I think there's a lot to speculate when it comes down to the role Michael Gandolfini will be playing. But I think if he's going to have a big role, his character is going to have to be somewhat tied into the Kingpin some way or somehow. And I'm really open to seeing what they do with the show. I also covered a previous rumor that Marvel Studios could be eyeing a role for Wednesday star Jenna Ortega. The cast of the show should only excite fans further. I honestly can't wait to see Daredevil on the screen again. And as for the roles of Foggy Nelson and Karen Page, nothing major has been reported on those characters just yet, but share in the comments section your thoughts on a more courtroom central Daredevil show and how you think the change of direction will affect Matt Murdock's overall character. Also, let me know your thoughts on the cast rumors of the show as well. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you stuck around long enough to drop a like. If you did subscribe, tell me in the comments below. And share your thoughts on topics like this one and others by clicking on the right side of your screen. I appreciate your support, and this has been Joel from Real Talk Movies. See you soon.